Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Superman Lois. We've got some reactions to the news that Warner Brothers is supposedly the one who cancelled Superman Lois. Well, Superman Lois ended, but they were basically told to end. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So in today's video, we're going to be going over a Screen Rant article from my friend Andy. I'll leave the links in the description below so you can go check out the article and Andy's social media. But the title of the article is Superman Lois fans have furious reaction to DC Universe cancellation comments. Now, this is the main topic of today's video. We're going to be going into detail in regards to the reactions from fans, which obviously I gave my reaction the other day, and I just thought it was an interesting topic that we should bring up because obviously we've all got our own reactions and I think everyone is kind of on the same page. But this is how the article goes. After reports that Warner Brothers and their new DC Universe was the reason that Superman Lois got cancelled, or it was decided that they would end with season 4 because it didn't actually get cancelled, guys, but basically the order came in and it's like, okay, you have to end it here. So it's kind of like half cancellation, half ending, I guess. But the show's fans have taken to social media to share their angry reactions about the axing. The end is near for the Greg Berlanti's Arrowverse franchise, as Superman Lois Season 4 will bring the DCTV universe on the CW to an end after running for over a decade. However, as one franchise concludes, another one is on the way, as James Gunn's DCEU is in the works, including the new Superman Legacy film, which we're going to obviously talk about as well. And so as the CW president of entertainment, Brad Schwartz, revealed this past week that Warner Brothers' new DC universe was supposedly the cause for why Superman Lois Season 4 is the last season for the DC TV drama. Fans obviously went online to share their opinions on this, and in regards to what Brad Schwartz said, he basically said they were told by Warner Brothers to end the show because they have Superman Legacy coming out pretty soon and they didn't want to have the series conflicting with the film because they didn't want a competing Superman product in the marketplace, according to the CW's Brad Schwartz. Now, let's see what people are saying, and obviously some of these reactions are going to be quite strong, and I'll tell you my opinions. So the first one says, a competing product? ? Smallville was airing on the CW at the same time as Superman Returns. The Flash was airing on the CW at the same time when the DCU's Flash was in the movies. Hell, they even had a crossover. So yeah, this is something that obviously went through my mind when it came up. We've had so many examples of TV characters showing up in films at the same time, like, as he said, even in Crisis, we had the two Flashes show up together, the DCEU Flash, played by Ezra, and the Arrowverse Flash, played by Grant, of course. And like you said, Smallville at the same time as Superman Returns. So, I mean, there's so many examples for why I don't think it's like a big deal. Well, it shouldn't be a big deal. So I don't know the exact reasons, but as I speculated in another video, I don't think this was James Gunn and Peter Safran saying, CW, you can't do this show anymore because we are doing Superman Legacy. I think this is probably coming from higher up. I think this is David Zaslav and him thinking, okay, what's this going to be like when we release Superman Legacy? Would it be better to have another Superman project going, or is it the best to have the sole focus be on Superman Legacy? And I bet you that's just like a business decision that he's made, and he's like, yeah, this is the right way to go, even though there is no precedent for, you know, cancelling or ordering a TV show to end because a film is coming out. Yeah, obviously in the past we've had little bits and pieces where certain characters can't show up anymore, like it's been hard to get Batman in the Arrowverse because they wanted him for the films, but it hasn't necessarily like completely restricted them in a way that they couldn't do similar characters or they had to end a show. The next person says, Warner Brothers is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Insane how they literally make the same mistake and then proceed to never learn from it, only to repeat the same mistakes and wonder why they are failing. Now, obviously, this is in regards to them not learning from past experiences where, you know, the DCEU hasn't succeeded, but then the Arrowverse has, and they've just tried to copy Marvel and it just didn't go well, and then they kind of stepped back from that, and then they kind of went full back into that kind of multiverse side of things that Marvel was doing at the same time. So it's just, you know, they keep on repeating the same mistakes, and I think it's fair enough to call them out for it. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. This is another reaction. There's literally about to be 2 live action Batman at the same time. This is entirely true, and this is a relevant one to actually call out how kind of absurd it is that, you know, they would allow 2 Batman films to go on at the same time. You'd have Brave and the Bold in the DCU, and you have the Batman in Matt Reeves' universe. So I think it's very reasonable to question their competing concerns when there's literally a perfect example that's going to be happening in the next couple of years as they build the DCU. So why can't there be a Superman show at the same time as a Superman film, which is a one-off? The next comment says the new DCU better be the best thing ever with how much other DC projects they slaughtered to make it. It's true, like everything is kind of going down this one avenue right now, like all the TV shows, all the animation, like it's all going to be under the same umbrella, this same universe. And you know, you don't have the Tomorrowverse anymore after Crisis. Those DC films are not going to be the same in terms of animation. And then TV, you don't have the Arrowverse anymore. You have no other projects. You only have Matt Reeves' Elseworld projects that are coming to Max, and then you have just DCU projects. So I think, you know, they're not being very expansive. They're being very much so single-minded in terms of what they're creating. And so I think this comment is very true. Like, it has to be really good. And I do trust James Gunn. Like, I think it's a different situation with having an actual filmmaker and fan in charge instead of just having businessmen in charge. So that's why I think it's important to have someone like James Gunn pair up with someone like Peter Safran, who is a producer at heart. Okay, let's move on to the next comment. This is just in regards to how Warner Brothers has fumbled Superman so many times, and yet they got it right with Superman Lois, and Warner Brothers is so willing to just throw it away just because they got this new Superman. So it is a little concerning with their track record in terms of film Supermans, because even though people are a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman, they like Man of Steel, him in Justice League, I mean, what did they do there? And then obviously in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's better than the Joss Whedon cut. But then you have other things, like more recently you have that CGI cameo in The Flash. Like, that was so weird, that was stupid. And yet they got it right on TV, just like they got The Flash perfect on TV, they got Supergirl perfect, and none of them are existing anymore. Obviously some of them are gone for their own reasons, and it's not all the same situation. But in regards to Tyler's Superman, it supposedly is because of Warner Brothers wanting the space for Superman Legacy to kind of take the public spotlight, and that's why there's not an extra season. Okay, so the final topic of today's video is very, very similar. This is just in regards to how the CW has not done any damage to DC as a brand, and this is in regards to something that Nicole Maines replied to. It was a comment online that basically said people neglect how much damage the CW has done to DC when everyone is blaming the mismanagement of the DCEU, basically blaming the CW for the mismanagement of the DCEU, which makes completely no sense. And I think what this comment that replied to it said is perfect. The CW hasn't done any damage to the DC brand, it actually helped it. Seeing the B-list characters shine in these shows gave people more interest to read the comics. Bebo ended up on shelves, and Dream has her own comic now, obviously written by Nicole Maines. And so the truth is that the Arrowverse has always done great for DC, and I think this comment is just perfect. It's literally true. The CW has always helped build and establish a big fan base of some of these characters that weren't super popular before. Like, I would argue Supergirl and Green Arrow, they weren't that popular, but now Supergirl is popping up in the Flash film, she's getting her own film, she's going to be a major character in the DCU. That is all because of Supergirl and the popularity that Melissa got. And then also the same thing goes for like Green Arrow, like he's huge because of that show. So the Arrowverse definitely did a lot more than what the DCEU did for DC as a brand. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. So you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.